Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all patience levels, the drop-off fairy has gifted us today with the tripowin, there's no way to know. What is there? Mele. Now, I don't know about its level in combat, but these things are quite simple and quite highly rated despite their simplicity. I typically don't even call something that has a single dynamic driver an in-ear monitor, because to me, that's just earphones. However, in this case, the fact that there is a 10mm graphene driver that uses two magnets, and has a proprietary voice coil, we're looking at something quite special. And this bad boy that you can grab for $50, by the way, punches way above its pay grade. This thing boxes with gods. If you've looked on online tests this thing and listened to the results, these things, the reason I picked these up and to give my own little spin on them was because I saw them standing toe-to-toe with $600 and $1,200 IEMs. And not really falling that far behind, or just being different, not worse. Now, again, it's been said 1,000 times, it's about the tuning, stupid. Of course, what you listen to them through is going to be a reflection of who tuned them. In this case, the guy known as Hawaiian Bad Boy. He runs a YouTube channel called, I think, Bad Guy Good Audio Reviews, or is it the other way around? But he's findable. And he listens to a lot of rock and a lot of band music, a lot of Prince, a lot of things that have instruments in them, not a lot of stuff that's predominantly programmed. So you can hear that in this tuning. It's not a lot of these aren't beats by Dre, and they're never going to be. So let's see what we got in the box and give us a first impression and unboxing. As with most of tripowin stuff, we have tripowin. Again, I'm stuck with that name. We have a relatively simple outside package. It's black generic. Even the letters are very simplistic. The only thing that's confusing to me is their logo, which is, I guess, meant to resemble a headpiece or IEMs or something, but it kind of looks like Prince's symbol a little bit. I don't know. It's freaky. And oh look, on the inside. Shiny. It looks more like a perfume box, or some sort of Christmas present that your grandma would give you, a brooch or something. Maybe a tie pin, watch box. I don't know. Maybe a tie, a bolo tie. Very shiny and fancy, and it's on both sides of the box. Ooh, this Christmas. And inside, again, simplicity. And I would say typical books and shit, but it's literally a single sheet. And that's got your warranty information on it. And that's the only thing you get to pluck and file to the side. So, it comes with a case, which is handy. It's rubberized. It's protective. And it's readily and easily accessible. What's inside? You got your cable, which is already attached to your IEMs. So I don't even do that to you. And you have 1, 2, 3 extra pairs of tips in this case, all seeming to be silicone of different diameters, so little ears and big ears alike can enjoy. It's fuzzy inside, little felt. It's all it needs to be and nothing that it doesn't. So we can come over here, slide this to the side, pull it out, file this in the box. come back to it later. Pretty decent unwind on the cable. Pretty soft. Doesn't seem to be trying to tangle itself up too much, but it's not super high grade. It's got a metal bound here, which again has the, I don't know if we can see that, the tripo insignia, whatever, signet, I meant to say, not signal, signet, or insignia. And, it's got a cord keeper. It does not come standard with a microphone, but that's not what these are for. These are a little more in the audiophile range. And the cable seems to be a step up from what you would get out of your normal box, but it's not a high grade cable. It's definitely in the middle. So, typical 3.5 jack, which is a straight one. You get what you get. And again, it has the Tripod branding on it. And it's obviously stereo, so you get the two lines. And it's probably unbalanced, but we'll see. And so you have, so you have some cord winding, and you have I don't know if it's seeable, but you have the letter L etched into it. Is that visible? Who knows? Maybe. But it's right under it's in between my fingers right now. If you can see it, you can. And it also has the insignia on the other side, on the other surface. If we notice well, there's a slight bass port right next to your ears. And for some people, they like to plug those up because it changes the sound. And you can experiment with giving yourself more bass that way. Let's put a little piece of tape on it. And we have this nice black, it looks like almost granite finish. It's absolutely lovely. It looks very sophisticated and mature. It's quite a bit of, yes, very erudite. Yeah, yes. We're quite adults here, aren't we? Yes. Okay, so we're going to put our very, very adult ears on now. Aren't we, children? Yes, we are. And let's see how they fit into our ear holes. When I'm using them, I very rarely use them in earphone mode, but that's what we're going to be doing today. And again, I'm using the default tips, which seem to be sealing pretty okay for me, actually. And that's unusual because one of them usually chooses not to. It's a bit of a rebel, one of my ears. Years and years and years of getting kicked in the head by other grown men. And, one of your ears is going to kind of do what it wants to do, you know what I'm saying? It's going to do what I want to do, a little too much boxing, you better, that's the day you pay your consequences, you know what I'm saying? So, you pay your money, take your chances. That's how it works. And we're going to go to our favorite first impression track of all time, which is The Great Charlie Hunter with Pound for Pound, and that's Enter the Candyman. Okay. There it is. It's got a lot of energy. This track the bass is slightly pulled behind everything else, but just a little bit, just a hair. But you definitely hear it. It's not gone. But I would have put it maybe 3 dB higher in the mix on this. And the separation is magnificent. I don't think you could do better. The staging makes it feel like it's not very wide. It's very tight, the staging. It makes you feel like you're listening to them at a small club or a bar. It's not a stadium, arena, amphitheater staging. But it has atmosphere. You feel like you can feel a small room. Like somewhere smoky and intimate. The Blue Note after 3 in the morning. That kind of feel. And you can definitely feel the panning of where everybody's sitting in the room. You can feel the communication. You hear subtle things, little chatter notes on the snare that you necessarily wouldn't hear in other pairs of headphones. The interplay between the percussion's pop and the chording hand of the vibraphonist, they're definitely being exchanged there. And there's a dance going there, and Charlie's kind of keeping it all chugging along with that syncopated guitar pattern he's doing. That ba-da 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 ba-ba-da ba-da da ba-da da 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 da. And then when they crescendo and peel off, there's space there. There's a drama. And you just subtly in the background, and to me a little too subtly, you hear the kick drum coming in and spacing things out, slowing things down. But yeah, it's definitely a monster. This is an exquisitely tuned pair of IEMs. And this is something I could definitely use professionally. I could use this and I could hear every instrument that I'm working with right where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. Like, this wouldn't, like, I'd prefer to have this in my ear than listen to the room. If I had a click track, we'd be on time. Oof. And as much as I hate to give yourself a pause for the cause, because I want to listen to the whole song, I'm listening to the drum solo right now. Separation between the toms, the snare, there's depth, there's resonance. I can tell what kind of wood is in his drum kit. I mean, I'm a drummer for my whole life, but it's that detailed. I can't tell that in most songs. I would take a bet within 3 guesses I could touch what drum kit he was using. And he is just killing it. And, let me stop this before I go on all day. So, what do we have left? It's a pretty good seal, you know, considering this one, you know, with the stock tips, it pretty much always comes out. I don't think I can get this one out. No, now my head's starting to hurt, so I'm not going to do that no more. So, you know, you might be able to live through a little Anthrax, a little Megadeth with these. You know, might be able to work out with them. You know, especially if you have, you know, more orthodox ears than myself, and if you have the right tips. But yeah, these are not just as cheap as they are. These are professional. These are, and I don't say that often. So these are. I'm a whiny, picky little nit about pro gear, but these are pro gear, and they will definitely help you get out there and make some art.